Hey everybody, this is Jeff Shannon with Inside Lacrosse here at Towson's Johnny United Stadium, covering the Tigers' 13-8 win over Johns Hopkins. Good offensive day for the Tigers, with attackmen Joe Sider and Ryan Drenner combining for a game-high 7 goals. Face-off midfielder Alex Woodall, a sophomore transfer from High Point, played an important role in today's win, scoring 2 goals and an assist. All 3 points were recorded off of face-off transition opportunities after Johns Hopkins had previously scored. John Crowley was Hopkins' offensive star, scoring a team-high 3 goals. Towson moves to 4-1 and plays Ohio State at home next, while Hopkins falls to 4-2 and hosts Syracuse next Saturday at Homewood Field.
Hi, this is Peter Katrumpis reporting for Inside Lacrosse here at Koskinen Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, following a 15-7 win by the Duke Blue Devils over the Loyola Greyhounds. This one started a little slower than you would have thought between these two offensively explosive teams, but it took nearly 6 minutes for the first one to go in. They were tied 3-3 after the first quarter, but then after that, Duke took over as the Duke defense shut down Loyola's offense, and led by Jack Bruckner's 4 goals and 3 each from Justin Gooderding and Joey Manone, the Blue Devils took the lead and never looked back. 14 saves by Danny Fowler in the cage for Duke was also critical, whereas the Loyola keepers in Jacob Stover and Grant Lamone weren't able to keep pace to help their defensive unit as Duke continued to press inside and out with shots that seemed to find the net every time. It was one of those games where head coach Charlie Toomey said from the Loyola sideline that the better shooting team won today. Also, the ground ball game and everything else just didn't work out for Loyola as much as they needed to, and Duke grew a little bit better and a little bit more as this young group showed that it had some offensive and defensive muscle to show. From Koskinen Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, this is Peter Katrumpis for Inside Lacrosse.
Welcome back to the Inside Lacrosse studio. I am Terry Foy, joined by Dan Aburn. Dan, what an unbelievable weekend in college lacrosse, but it started with an unlikely upset. The weather got the better of the University of Maryland in Albany as the Terps' clash against the Great Danes was rescheduled due to cold temperatures. It is postponed until April 12th. That didn't prevent all of the other great action from unfolding, and it started just a little bit west of the capital region in New York in New Haven, Connecticut, where the Yale Bulldogs pulled out an 11-10 double overtime victory over Fairfield. How'd this one unfold from your perspective?
Just another wild game that we had today. Fairfield managed to close the gap late in the game, forced double overtime. Yale's defense, they stuck strong. They forced a turnover on their end of the field, got it to their offense for a textbook, a fast break, and Ben Reeves with the finish. Game winner for Yale.
Unbelievable. Great caused turnover by Bulldog defenseman Robert Mooney. Moving on, the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor holds on to beat Penn 13-12, the first top 20 victory in program history. What does this mean for the Wolverines program?
Well, they're already on a trajectory to have their first winning season ever. So to also nab, not only a top 20 win, but a top 10 win, huge for John Paul's program.
Unbelievable signature win for the Blue out in Ann Arbor today. And finally, Hofstra upsetting the defending national champions North Carolina Tar Heels 11-9 in Chapel Hill. It's the second year in a row Hofstra's gotten the better of North Carolina. What were the keys to victory for the Pride?
Well, it was a very interesting game because Carolina dominated at the face-off X, but Hofstra was just able to find those X possessions. Carolina had 17 turnovers in this game, 11 of which were uncaused. And then you got to give a shout-out to Hofstra's goalie, Jack Concannon, 5 saves in the fourth quarter, including a huge stuff of a Chris Cloutier behind the back that really kind of sealed the win for the Pride in this one.
Unbelievable final sequence. In the last 50 seconds, North Carolina took 5 shots while trailing by 2 goals, unable to break the seal and close the gap to 1 and give themselves an opportunity for a Stephen Kelly fast break finish to end it.
Kyle Devitt here reporting from the bubble on Harvard Stadium where Penn State prevailed 15-12 over the Harvard Crimson. It was a hard-fought game. It's much closer than maybe the scoreline indicates. Harvard managed to get within 1 several times and actually scored the first goal of the game. Their ride was spectacular. Team is full of hustlers. Just wasn't enough. The Penn State offense continues to roll, led by Mac O'Keefe's hat trick. Lawrence's hat trick as well caused the Lions to get a crucial victory against a very strong Harvard team that is much better than them.
Inside Lacrosse's Zach Babbo here on a blustery day in Delaware where the Binghamton Bearcats topped Blue Hens 13-9. It was a resilient win for Binghamton as they routinely built leads that Delaware then fought back, only to see the Bearcats once again separate themselves. They enjoyed a 3-goal lead in the third quarter that they saw cut to 1, but a 4-goal run in the beginning of the fourth quarter really provided the distance here for the Bearcats. Binghamton was led on offense by Tom Moore with 4 goals and 3 assists, and Thomas McAndrew with 2 and 2. Really impressive win overall. They really just kind of stuck to it, kept attacking. The fact that Binghamton was able to get as convincing of a win as this, despite the numbers being against them, is pretty impressive. They were outshot by 13 shots, 41-27, outground balled by 15 ground balls, and were dominated at the faceoff X. Yet still, they took advantage of their possessions and canned shots when they had to. A big win here for Coach Kevin McKeon in his first year in the program.
That racks up another week of the IL Epic Game Day Recap. Gear up for your season with Epic's line of gear and apparel like the Gen 7 Dragonfly Shaft, Ultralight Outer Mesh, and the Hawk prequel and sequel heads.